Welcome back to another exciting episode of Ready Up. My name is Spicer.
And I'm Leo.
And we just came back from Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yes.
Homecoming Part 2.
Sure. Avengers Endgame Part 2.
Yes, there you go.
Part 0.5.
Yeah. So we like judging our movies in 6 different categories: direction, writing, music, sound, acting, and visual effects. So what do you think about Spider-Man Far From Home from a directing standpoint?
Loved it. There's not a lot I could say about the writing in terms of anything that stood out in a very bad way, and also not in a very good way either. It's just a solid movie in terms of the directing and everything. They did a good job. They hit all the moments. It worked in concert with everything else. I liked it. What did you think?
Yeah, the directing was really, really good. There was not a slow moment in this film. Every single scene was full of meat and potatoes, and I really, really enjoyed how full and trim it was as well. There's not a lot of filler, a lot of like transitions that don't need to be there. It's just they trimmed all the fat and they just gave you meat and potatoes. So yeah, really, really like that. For writing, again, just went hand in hand with the direction. Lots of funny moments, lots of genuine funny moments in this movie that I just kept laughing and laughing and laughing. And we'll get into spoilers, but even when the most exciting things were happening, I was still giggling, And it was really, really good. What do you think about the writing?
I liked it a lot. I would definitely agree. It goes hand in hand with the directing. They've made some things we'll talk about in spoiler for sure. But yeah, overall, I would say right now, very enjoyable, very funny. The dialogue is top-notch, Marvel-level dialogue for a superhero movie. It's really great. That's one of my favorite things about those Marvel movies. They just did a good job. Good job with that. The story flows in a really, really well-structured way from all the events. So yeah, I liked it a lot. Next we have sound, I believe.
Acting,
that's right. So acting-wise, all the characters did a really, really good job on the, especially on joke deliveries and stuff. But just overall, they're doing a really good job making the characters feel real in their reactions and stuff. And that's something that Marvel's really good at. Just the plot worked. It worked definitely. Not a lot of surprises, except a couple things with post credits. But just really good.
Yeah. The acting, top notch. No one seemed fake. MJ's a little weird with her little smiling thing, but she's cute enough to let it go. But other than that, Happy was great. Fury was great. Everyone in here was doing really, really good. And like although the entire supporting cast and the way that they all came together and everything like that was really good, and everybody had their own just the way that they were interacting with each other. We'll get into spoilers, but yeah, it was really, really good. And then for
sound?
Yeah, sound. What do you think about the sound?
The sounds are really, really good, and this is a movie where the delivery is really, really important on things like sounds and visual effects and all that stuff. And they really, they did a good job. Nothing super stood out for me, but there were a lot of moments that were like, "Ooh, that's cool," and you notice the sound in a positive way. What did you think?
I thought the sound design was excellent. I would say this is the best one that they've done so far. Either is that or the Alamo got brand new sound system, because there's a part where they get to, it's not a spoiler thing. They get to a hotel, there's construction going on. And whenever the construction, I was watching the movie and I was like, are they really pounding on something out there? Is there something, and those type of things. And it really fooled me. I was just like, man, that sounds so good. I'm questioning if someone's really banging on the wall back there, and it was just that type of thing. It was really, really good. The stereo sound, really, really enjoyed it. Music. What do you think about music?
Excellent. Especially the really high uplifting moments. Those epic moments. Really a lot. Several of them stood out for me. And again, their use of their Spider-Man theme and their Avengers theme is there. You know, the heroic theme. Just really, really good use for all that. Especially again, the tense moments and the uplifting moments really stood out for me in a positive way. What did you think?
I thought they had me from the very first song that they open up with. Like I was like, oh, what is this gonna be? Is this gonna be this or that? And then they open it up, and I'm like, oh god, this is so great. You know, like immediately it just brought you, it just made you smile. You know, and it was really really good. And the way that the payoff was after the opening credits, it was really good. And visual effects. Wow. I mean, this is like Doctor Strange. They did some really, really weird stuff in there. But in this one, like they push it like they've never pushed it before. They took a lot of chances in a very particular scene we'll get into in spoilers. But good God, was that great? Was that great? What do you think?
I honestly have nothing to add. That scene, like it's in particular, just... Yeah, we'll talk about it. And think, but that was something that I did not expect, and yet I should have. You know. So, and again, we'll discover it more later. But absolutely top notch. Some of the best, definitely for Marvel.
Yeah. I mean, in that particular scene, like whatever they wanted Spider-Man to feel, I felt, and that's the reason it was done so well. It was done so well. But I really want to get into spoilers, and I don't want to take the very long time on this part of our reviews. But what do you think? Ready up or ready down?
Ready up for sure. Excellent Spider-Man movie. Excellent Marvel movie. Just we're very worthy. So
yeah, absolutely worth every dollar you're gonna pay for it. You know, up to $25. but yeah. This is good. I'm definitely going to get this as soon as it's available for pre-order because I cannot wait to watch this movie again. So double ready up from me. We're about to get into our spoiler discussion. If you haven't seen the movie, definitely go see the movie and then come back. And if you are going to do that, make sure you like and subscribe before you do. All right. So we'll see you in the spoiler discussion. Welcome back, everybody. We're in the spoiler discussion for Spider-Man Away from far away from his homecoming party, part 3, Endgame. So Infinity War.
Oh, is that what we saw?
Okay, so I really, really want to talk about one particular scene because it was something I had not seen before, and we were just talking about it in the visual effects section. That whole like first entering Mysterio's like realm and everything was so discombobulating and so good, and just just one thing after another, and they just kept the rhythm going. And the whole time I was thinking, man, he's got a great visual effects crew. I was like, because you find out,
literally does.
You find out in the movie that he's got basically this visual effects crew behind him creating all these monsters. You know, if you know anything about the Spider-Man universe, you already know that Mysterio is gonna fuck him over. But I was just wondering how it was gonna happen. But even whenever he's like, I'm gonna do what I should have done on my Earth, and he busts in there, I just started laughing because I was like, oh, this is so fake. Oh my god. But yeah, what do you think, man? What was your...
Yeah, absolutely. That scene in particular stood out for me. And again, it's one of those things where I should have expected something like this because this is a Spider-Man story with Mysterio. There's going to be some crazy illusions going on, but man, you know what else in those illusions? Like the way they did it, and that's the visual effects, the sound effects, all of it came together. So in that dimension, or it's not really a dimension, it's all illusion, but he feels the force, right? Because they have those drones that also generate force for the illusions, right?
The drones basically cause all the damage and all the force. Yeah.
And just the use of that and tying all of it together and making it make sense, because I was like, well, what is this? Why, if this is just an illusion, where's all this force of falling and everything coming from mimicking gravity to really turn him around? And then they show it, and I'm like, okay, nice, because you're accounting for all of the destruction. Yeah.
So what do you think about like his suit? I thought they did that really, really well. I think Jake Gyllenhaal did a great job being the villain. Like his whole, like he was totally two different people. Like in the beginning, he was a hero, Mysterio, and he was like, "Hey, I'm your buddy," you know. Or he's like, "Hey, my name's Mysterio."
So
yeah, he's like, "My name's Mysterio." You know, and he was just joking. You know, he's being like charming and everything like that. It was really, really good. I love the way that he played Mysterio. I wish I would have said more in the non-spoiler discussion, but I really can't without just, you know, without spoiling it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he did a great job. All the people that they brought from the history of Tony Stark to come back was really, really cool. And yeah, they're just like tying everything together. Like you said, this is a new phase, and I feel like they're really, really like wrapping up a lot of things that they used to do.
Yeah.
But what I want to do is I want to go back and I want to watch Iron Man again and see if that guy's the same guy, because I don't think it's the same guy. I think they found someone new and retconned him in there. But that's fine, you know.
It would be cool though. It would be something that they would attempt to do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah. It was really good. Yeah. See what else? Oh, and then his friend and that girl fall in love on the plane. It was that's funny. What'd you think about that?
Yeah, that was a fun little side thing, because we already know. I feel like they're trying something new with Ned, because he got a lot of laughs in the other Spider-Man movie, a lot. You know, he was one of the funniest things in the movie. He carries all the humor in the movie almost for the previous ones. So what are they going to do with him here? Where they didn't want him to be the only thing that carries the humor, so they diversified a little bit, but they still give him a really, really fun a side kind of adventure for him, or a side story.
Right.
So he's not really a main character in this movie like he was in Homecoming, right? But there's a lot of funny stuff going on there for sure.
Yeah, like they're sitting next to each other, and I miss you more, I miss you, and they're literally sitting right next to each other.
Yes,
and it's just so funny. It's just like, you know, boy grows up into a man, you know, and that's just what I've done, you know, on his first girlfriend, and he's already like she's like, "Babe," and he's like, "Oh, I'm on my way," you know, like it just immediately. It was great. Yeah, like I loved that one. And
did they say the same thing?
Huh?
They say the same thing at the same time.
Yeah. Babe. It's just like, oh, it was so great. Yeah, that was great. MJ, whenever they finally kiss, and like Spider-Man's like, goes up to kiss her and stuff. He's like, I don't know what to do. It was just so great. It's just a little bit.
Yeah,
this is exactly what a Spider-Man movie should be. Exactly what a Spider-Man movie should be. It should be exciting. It should be funny. It should be scary. And then you'll leave with a smile on your face. And you're even like, let's talk about the end.
All right.
Okay. Now, this is how you leave a Spider-Man movie. You tell them what happened.
Oh, my God. So they dropped some bombs. And it wasn't like they dropped a bomb. They dropped like the carpet bomb. That's like
right. Yeah.
Like a couple of them. So first, we see a really cool. They end the movie with a nice scene where he's flying MJ through town, swinging, and just her reactions were great. And also they got that really, really nice camera shot on her face while she's holding on to him. And all of a sudden you realize, because when you see it in cartoons and in CGI, that's obvious CGI, things don't have weight, right? So you're not worried about gravity. When they had that shot on her, it gives me a little bit of fear of heights. Like, he brought it back, I'm like, whoa. Like, it was really,
she sold
really
it really well with that.
Yes.
Just that, you know, when you're on a roller coaster and you go,
yes.
Yeah,
really,
and you just
really
like you're just like, oh, just that adrenaline, just like, oh, she did. That's what sold it to me for that one part. Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, that's because we even laughed like as soon as she did it.
Yeah,
it's and that's what the movie is. It's those small little touches of just, it's just finesse. It's just like almost a mastery of it, you know, and I love it. I love this movie.
Yeah, for sure. So that's the scene they end on, and then we get some credits, and then he lands on a thing. He drops her off. She's like, never do it again. It's cute, you know. They complete that, and then on the thing, on big screen, New York screen, on a building, the things they have, and they're just like, there's on the news and stuff. They got this, and then you realize everything that he's done. I mean, there aren't any witnesses that know he was like
Well, let's set it up a little bit more. So Mysterio, the whole thing about him is obviously he's creating illusions, right?
Yes.
So at the end of the movie, Spider-Man cancels all these drones that are about to attack, and destroy London, and so he calls them off, right? But Mysterio creates an illusion for everybody, for the news, basically, in which Spider-Man is a bad guy and he's actually the good guy. And so so Spider-Man leaps up on top of a lamppost, turns around, and in big Times Square with a big TV screen.
And then we get Jonah Jameson.
Mm.
And it was him, man.
Mm-hmm. And it was the original Jonah Jameson, and you could hear everybody in the theater. And I was my breath was taken away too. I was like, oh yes.
That on its own would have been enough. It would have been a perfectly amazing end credit scene, post credit scene. That could have been fine. But then they go like the thing that they expose them, because first they show the twist with Mysterio's like final message is like, as he's dying, it's like telling those lies like Spider-Man was the one behind everything and all that, and then he just terminated that, and John Jameson yells them, and then they realize there's more in the video, and Mysterio reveals that Spider-Man is Peter Parker to everybody, while Peter Parker is sitting there on a street light surrounded by people, just dropping off MJ. And I was like, oh. And I realized this is not what we're used. There's none of those like rules like you don't reveal the secret identity. Like you think about it, like Marvel does not have, the MCU does not really have secret identities.
Yeah, ever since I'm Iron Man. Yeah, they pretty much got rid of it. Yeah,
that was it. But Iron Man, even in the comics, doesn't have a secret identity anymore, right?
Well, in the comic books, he has a secret identity.
Does he?
Yeah.
Oh, he keeps it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
like in the beginning, I think. I'm just assuming because they always had secret identities and they always had to keep those separate, and that was always part of the comic books. Was them? That was always like a side story for them. Was keeping that, but yeah, I mean, eventually everybody found.
Yeah, so the world knows, who
Spider-Man is.
Yeah,
and then after that, we see Nick Fury, and we see
that was the really end of the credits.
Yeah. Post there's like a end graphic credits, where they have all the graphics and everything, and all the notebook drawings and everything, and then that ends, and they give you what we just told you about. Then the boring credits come into play, where it's just black and white and scrolling. And after that, we see Nick Fury and his female accomplice driving around, and it turns out to be Skrulls. Yeah. And so then, he's talking into the to his phone, and I thought he was talking to like an evil overlord or something. Yeah. He's like, yeah, so we messed up, and then it made so much sense why Nick Fury was slightly off the entire movie. Like he turned around and after Mysterio basically gets caught with this new beast that comes around, and he's trying to explain it, and he even has a writer to explain where all these creatures come from. That's how deep this illusion goes through.
So meta. Yeah, his team is so meta because that's the team you would need for a movie.
Yeah.
It's really.
And then he's like, oh, it's he got together between the forces of blah 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 blah, and then he's starting to say that, and then Nick Fury turns around, and he's like, now that's some bullshit, and I was like, that's not something you would say, but it is kind of something you would say. And then we see that it's a scroll at the end, and so I was like, oh, okay, now this all makes sense. And then we see that Nick Fury is in space, and basically he's got the scrolls all over the galaxy as he spies.
At least Earth, yeah, probably all over the galaxy.
Oh yeah, for sure, because they can take the form of anybody. So, so that's really cool. Hopefully we see the Skrull Wars. I would like to see that, just because of the whole like espionage things that we were hoping was in Captain Marvel in terms of them like who's who. I hope they really grasp that. There's no way that they cannot see that obvious trope that they can just use and use and use.
It's just a question of if they have a story they can tell in that setting. That's what it comes down to. So
yeah,
we'll see. I hope so too. It'll be pretty interesting.
Yeah, great end credits, great movie, great jokes, great music. This is like, I was worried if they were going to be able to top Infinity War or Endgame, or even give us something even remotely as entertaining as those last two movies, especially with all the gravity that was in those in terms of character consequence, and totally thoroughly entertained the entire movie of this one.
Yes, Spider-Man, the way they built his arc, he was such a loser at the start. He would mess everything up, and it was such a great journey, especially after we saw him do all these amazing things. So they're not taking any of that away. It's just like they show how much more room he has to grow. So they're just selling us on him just messing up everything and being really dumb, but learning from it and building and growing up into the Spider-Man that's closer and closer to what we know. Because right now he's still not quite the Spider-Man that I remember, from the cartoons that I used to watch in the 90s. But he's slowly growing into that character, and I always wait for those moments of badassery and just all of that. So.
Yeah. He really good, especially whenever, he's putting his new suit together, and he even, harkens back to kind of like what Tony used to do, and, flipping diagrams, holograms around and constructing things and putting his arm, and the whole thing was kind of just like, an Iron Man in the first one. Right. And it was really good. I really like it. And the fact that it was named Edith, even dead, I'm still the hero. Yes. It was just so great.
Yes. Yeah. That was such a nice touch.
Yeah. Or even dead, I'm the hero. No, I'm not. Yeah. Even dead, I'm the hero. Yeah. It was just great. Like, I don't mind seeing, a lasting, just wave of, Tony Stark.
Sprinkled throughout.
Yeah, sprinkled throughout.
I would love that.
Yeah,
I would love that for sure. Tell me, do you remember the scene where Spider-Man is like fighting these criminals, and the cops show up and they're like, blah, blah, blah.
That wasn't in the movie.
It wasn't in the movie. What are you doing? Well, I'm too busy doing your jobs.
Yeah, I'm just joking. Yeah, that's weird. I didn't even remember that.
That was a really, too bad they couldn't fit it in the movie. Like I said, like you said earlier, they trimmed all the fat. That must have been one that had to go. But they realized it's such a good scene, they could use it for at least the...
something. commercial. Yeah.
Because he was a very, very funny, very, very my Spider-Man kind of scene where he has all that banter. And that's something that I'm really missing with this Spider-Man, that I don't get as much Spider-Man jokes and one-liners and banter as much as I would. But they show that it's there. They're just trying to fit it in as the character grows up. So
I would say that was one of the things that kind of bothered me about the last iteration with Andrew Garfield, was that he did have those one-liners while he was fighting, and it kind of took me out of it, because like in this one, he's like busy with action, busy with responsibility and doing things, and he'll be like, oh, he'll do something like that, or comment, oh my God, here we go, something like that. But he doesn't have a joke for you while he's in the middle of a very tense scene. Yeah. In cartoons, it works. In comic books, it works. But in movies, while you're trying to create something that's somewhat believable, I never appreciated the one-liners.
He worked in Spider-Verse. And they had some. They had some for sure.
Yeah,
but not as many. So maybe they had maybe 2 or 3 at the most.
Yeah, but just a presentation, like there's corny, there's that's Spider-Man, and then there's falling flat, and like I think Andrew Garfield fell flat, and then Spider-Man. Both Into the Spider-Verse and this one really hit it home with those.
Okay,
with
I'll
those
agree with that.
clips.
That's fine. Okay.
Anything else you want to say about this excellent movie?
Just agree. I agree. I mean, not much. It's actually,
let's put a numerical value on it.
Numerical value? Okay. So I'm still not sure this feels like my Spider-Man. I know you disagree with the jokes and the one-liners and stuff. I don't know. It's still kind of missing to me, at least in terms of his confidence. I want to see more confidence, and then I'm saying that while I'm realizing he's growing in that regard in with every movie. So that's probably where it's going, hopefully, you know. So, but overall, this is an excellent Spider-Man MCU movie. Probably say just that thing that kind of bothered me. You know, the emotional moments, the funny moments all landed, but I was lacking, like, I wanted like feeling moments, like feeling intensely moments besides laughter, besides inspired, besides as a response to the action. And that was kind of lacking for me. So that would not make a movie a 10, but I would definitely say this movie deserves a 9.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would. In terms of Spider-Man movies, not Into the Spider-Verse. I'm not counting I'm talking about this iteration of Spider-Man. This is the best one. Mm-hmm. Spider-Man movie, solo movie.
How many were there?
There's just the other one, the Homecoming.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is better than...
Yeah, which is great, which is good enough.
Yes.
Because the first one was great, too. I love that.
Okay.
That one was great. I loved Michael Keaton. That was so good. And then him being her father, was even better. Yes. Oh, my God. Oh, it was so good. But, yeah, like that one. This one's even better. And I think we are going to see that Spider-Man you're talking about. And then like a few more movies, because he's not even out of high school yet. Yeah. You know, like I'm pretty sure when he gets into college, somewhere around there, he'll start turning into, you know, the Spider-Man that you're talking about. That's a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more confident, and has the finesse to allow himself to think about jokes and then say those one-liners as he's fighting. Okay. Like right now, he's not ready to be like, oh, he'll, you know, it's just like, no, you're not. You can barely handle the situation you're in. You know, that's not the time for jokes. But I think later on, like even whenever he was, when he's taking care of those robbers, you know, those are low class heroes. Not gonna take a lot of time for him. You know, he's not in any real danger there. I can hear some one-liners, you know, but after that,
yeah. But Iron Man also did one-liners all the time since the very start. Since Iron Man 1, he did a lot of one-liners. Not with the very, very big bads, but a lot of the simpler ones that you have time for humor like that because the threat is not super intense, it's for real. So you can make light of that situation. So they've done it. I think they can do it with him. If they do that in the future, if that's where the path leads, then retroactively it would change my grade to a 10 because then it would be a part of the greater Spider-Man story and multiple movie arc for him. So yeah. For me, I would say like 9.5. Okay. I go somewhere around there because I can't wait to watch it again. You remember that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie where they had like those rail guns and he had to protect Eraser.
Okay, you remember that, all right?
Yeah.
So you remember whenever there's the alligators and they're in that terrarium and like they shoot the aquarium and all the alligators come out and you know and all that stuff.
I remember that scene.
Well, anyway, like basically she's about to die and he comes in, you know, and slides right up next to her. She's like, "Where you been?" "Traffic." You know, and that's,
yes, I do remember that.
Okay,
so remember that. Yes,
that's what one-liners are to me, and they're worthless. They're fucking worthless.
I love it.
And I don't want this Spider-Man to have like. I don't want him to do. I don't want that scene.
Well, think about it like this, just like in the context of what they're doing in the comics, you know. And again, it's like I understand that animation is different, but with Spider-Verse, they had some of that. In animation, they have some of it. It's not that it only works because it's like completely separate from reality, but I think that it works because they got the timing down. They worked on it really hard to make it work. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying it's possible to get the timing right when you want to convey certain emotions.
Absolutely.
You know? So I think there's a balance there. I definitely understand your concern. They can definitely, if they did do it, could mess it up really bad. So it's really, really a fine balance, and good humor is really, really hard to write. So
yeah, they did a great job on this. Is there anything else you want to say before we go?
I believe that's it. I'm really happy with this movie. Absolutely worth every penny. Definitely recommend everybody go see it. Yeah,
absolutely. Can't recommend this movie enough. If you're a Spider-Man fan, this is not going to let you down in any way whatsoever. So yeah. If you haven't yet, make sure you like and subscribe below, and we will see you next time.
I'm Night Monkey.